Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weaves here, and this is what if Naruto was trained by Itachi, Part 4 finale. Yes, it's been a long time since I recorded this video or the next part, and I finished my mocks, and I'll still be revising quite a bit, slowing down a little bit, just a little bit, because I used to revise till really late, but now I cannot be asked, and I'll just have a little timetable, and my holidays are starting anyways. Last time we left off with Naruto leaving the village. Of course, Sasuke left as well, and Sakura wanting to become just as good as a healer as Tsunade. Anyways, during these 2 years, Sasuke would become a lot stronger, much stronger than the original, as he already was stronger in this than the original when he left. And anyways, now at this point, he no longer needs the curse mark, and he doesn't use it anymore, as he's just strong enough. That's what he thinks, and we will have a time skip here. Naruto, during these 3 years, he became the best healer that he could, and he actually found a cure to Itachi's disease. Of course, he wanted to meet with Itachi, but Itachi said that he'll do it after the 2 years, after his training is finished. And also during these years, these 2.5 years, Naruto learned the Rasen Shuriken, and he's trying to, use the Rasen Shuriken with the Vanishing Rasengan, and he has done it once, but it took a lot of chakra out of him, and it was pretty mediocre in his opinion, as the explosion wasn't as big as his normal Rasen Shuriken. And since this is 2 different Rasengans being put together, he wants it to become he wants the explosion to be even bigger and more damaging, as damage is what he's going after all. And anyways, now of course Naruto kept training with Jiraiya for a few years, 2 years in fact, and after that Naruto would actually part ways with Jiraiya, as Jiraiya would continue doing his research on the Akatsuki, and Naruto was fine by training on his own. And as he's already pretty much Kage level at this point, he has the Sharingan. His Taijutsu is Jonin plus level, or close to, of course, being on the level of a Hokage, same as the Jiraiya's. And ninjutsu, we already know about that. S rank, he's literally Kage level with ninjutsu. He has all 5 chakra natures, and genjutsu, of course, over Kage level, as he has Shisui's eye. And here Naruto would actually spend his last 6 months meditating most of the times, trying to talk the Narutos into becoming his friend or ally. Of course, Naruto is sincere, but the Narutos or Kurama cannot do it, as his conscience doesn't allow it. Even though he can see that Naruto is being truthful, he gives Naruto a challenge. He says that he'll become his friend, ally, whatever he wants, if he can defeat him in a fight. And Naruto accepts straight away. He was about to open the gate, but the condition was for him not to use the Sharingan. Naruto realized after this, that he depends on the Sharingan quite a lot. Of course, he's told everything to Jiraiya, how he has the Sharingan. This is Shisui's Sharingan. It was given to him by Itachi. But anyways, now, of course, he realized that without the Sharingan, a lot of the things that he can do, he might not be able to do. Of course, he has a massive amount of chakra, but the chakra control is is boosted quite a bit thanks to the Sharingan. And anyways, Naruto continues training without the Sharingan for 6 months, and becomes just as strong as he would be 6 months ago with the Sharingan. And if he activates the Sharingan, he's just on a different level. And anyways, Naruto would train hard until the day came to verse the Narutos. On this day, Naruto would want to verse the Narutos. However, he had other plans. This was the fated day, but it was postponed, as he would go to Itachi. This day, he would meet Itachi in secret, and it would be 3 weeks before Naruto would return to the village, and 3 weeks before he would meet with Jiraiya once again. Naruto met with Itachi and actually cured his disease, and they made a plan to actually find find Sasuke and tell him the truth. Of course, they made the plan that Itachi would lure him in after a few weeks or maybe a month or so. And Naruto said, "Yes, that's good." As Itachi needs to get used to being able to fight for longer, or just the stamina booster he got because of his disease being cured. And anyways, now Naruto would return to the village with Jiraiya as a new shinobi, completely different Kage level. He's way stronger than Tsunade at this point. Not as strong. Well, he could be on the same level as Jiraiya without Sage Mode, but once Sage Mode is activated, Jiraiya did master Sage Mode during these 2.5 years. I'm just saying, Jiraiya would absolutely decimate Naruto unless Naruto used the Sharingan, and he's trying not to do that. Naruto would from now on only use it when it's a dire situation. That was his initial plan, but during the 2.5 years, he got used to using it a lot, and he was depending on it, and he was swayed away from the path of being a ninja without any dojutsu. Of course, this is a gift, so he should treat it as something really important, and he's only going to use it as a last resort. And anyways, Naruto would want to learn Sage Mode. However, of course, Jiraiya won't allow it yet, as first he wants to see if Naruto can even stand a chance against Sage Mode. He wants Naruto to get a feel of how Sage Mode is. And anyways, this will be later on, as straight away once Naruto returns, the day after, they get a letter from the Sand Village saying that Gaara has been captured, and Itachi sends a letter on the same day to Naruto saying that the Akatsuki have captured Gaara and he couldn't really do anything about it. And Naruto sends one back saying that it's fine, he's going to go find them and destroy them. Of course, Naruto would then go on with Team 7, or the now Team 7 and Team Guy, of course, to the Sand Village, and here they would arrive at the same time, and Gaara would be dead by the time they find him. Of course, Kankuro is healed straight away, or much faster to be honest, but Gaara would still be dead by the time they arrive, as even though they healed Kankuro earlier, thanks to Naruto being there as well, being just as good as a healer as Sakura, or even better, because he has the knowledge, or he is on the same level as Tsunade, and even higher level of regeneration on the level of the first Hokage. And anyways, Naruto would help a lot in this, and Chio would still come along, and Naruto would change Chio's mind as she sees something different in Naruto. She sees the new generation being different from the old generation or older generations, and they are the change, and so she puts her trust into Naruto. And once they find Gaara, the events kind of play out the same, as Naruto would lose control and the Narutos would still be against him at this point, although he still sees his truthfulness. He still doesn't like him. He will only respect him once Naruto is able to actually defeat him. After all of this, Naruto would still, Deidara would actually have a harder time to escape, as Naruto is much stronger, and here even Kakashi trained during the 2 years training with Guy, which made him a lot faster and stronger, and he's already gotten more used to the Mangekyo Sharingan. And so here, not only his arm is gone, but also some of his chest, so not only the arm. And this would actually affect Deidara on a different kind of level, as one of his lungs is gone and he couldn't escape fast enough. And here, of course, Sasuke doesn't get to fight him, and it's actually Naruto who is still pretty angry. He still has the Naruto's eyes. Of course, the seal was put on him to seal away the chakra that was flowing out. But Naruto would end up killing Deidara, as he wouldn't even listen to his story at this point because he's that angry, and he would just use a Rasengan to decimate him. After all of this, of course, Chio and Sakura would have a much easier time, as Sakura is way stronger here. Sakura has been training for way longer. She's been motivated from much earlier in the story, and Naruto was one of her goals to reach the level of Naruto. Of course, that's out of her reach at this point, but she still believes that she can still become strong, and so she kept on going. She kept training, and she achieved a level of strength that no one would have expected from Sakura. She'd probably be closer to Warrock Sakura strength from now on than actually thing waiting till the anyway after Sakura and Chio defeat they defeat I forget his name, Sorcery. Of course, Sorcery does let himself get defeated, as Sakura in the end was getting tired, especially because of all the puppets, and the Sorcery was trying a little bit harder here, as he was pulling his punches towards the end in the original, but here it was holding back quite a lot, and in the end he just allowed himself to get, killed, as he's had enough. He just couldn't handle it anymore. And anyways, Naruto would arrive and Chio would still give her life up, and this time Naruto would understand how big of a sacrifice he is from the very beginning, as he is a medical ninja himself, and he understands the dangers, the risks, and the risks behind this jutsu, and it's not a risk, it's actually the cost to use this jutsu. It's a life for a life, to be honest. And anyways, now after this, Naruto would go on to to actually return to the village, and here is where his spar with Jiraiya would occur. Jiraiya would find some free time and come to the village to actually meet Naruto, to see if Naruto is ready to learn Sage Mode. Naruto would go on to fight Jiraiya in Sage Mode. When Jiraiya is in perfect Sage Mode, he doesn't need Ma and Pa to help him out, and in fact he has the upper hand for most of the fight, and Naruto still doesn't want to use the Sharingan, and Jiraiya tells him to do it, but Naruto keeps his word with the Nine Tails of Kurama, and goes on to actually catch Jiraiya off guard with a clone, and that clone was actually a lightning clone, which Jiraiya actually explodes with an explosive tag, as his Sage Mode was able to detect the lightning chakra, and he wasn't going to actually attack it, as he knew that this was a plan from Naruto to paralyze him. But that's where that's where Naruto's plan worked. Naruto knew that this would happen, and from behind he comes in with a Rasengan, which wouldn't do too much damage to Jiraiya, but it would still blow him to the floor, which was his plan. Once he was blown to the floor, Naruto would then use a new technique that he actually unlocked, and that would be wood release. Naruto would combine both water and earth styles and actually create wood, as he binds Jiraiya to the ground, and everyone is in awe. And here Sasuke actually doesn't meet with Naruto, as Naruto and Sasuke knew that they were doing their own thing, and Naruto wasn't trying to bring back Sasuke to the village, and in fact they had their own plans. So here, of course, Sakura was informed of this, and so they wouldn't actually really care about the meeting with Orochimaru. Although they wanted to go, Naruto was kind of held up by Jiraiya, and Sakura would not be able to go on her own and beat Orochimaru. Although she wanted to, it was a lost fight to begin with. If she went, she would probably die and never even see Sasuke, or never even have the chance to see him, as she still doesn't know if she'll ever see him, even though he said he'll return to the village. But after all this, what if he just goes rogue, like literally against the village? He doesn't like it anymore because of what they made Itachi do. And anywho, now of course Naruto would actually use this wood release to actually create a wood prison, imprisoning Jiraiya. And just saying, Naruto didn't get much time to actually train with this wood release, and still was able to catch Jiraiya off guard and actually trap him in his wood prison, and then he also creates a wood dragon to actually, well, bind him even further and drain his chakra and he actually drains his sage mode out of Jiraiya. And after this, of course, now Naruto would have won the fight barely, as Jiraiya let down his guard. If Jiraiya didn't let his guard down, Naruto wouldn't have been able to make the opening to catch Jiraiya off guard, and this was his downfall. Of course, Jiraiya realized that Naruto beat him fair and square. It's his fault, he was being too cocky, and allows him to learn. Well, actually, he tells him that they'll be going to learn Sage Mode. However, Naruto realizes that he doesn't have much time, as there's only around a week and a half left before the meeting with Sasuke again, or Itachi versus Sasuke. And on the same day, there was a distress call from Team 10. They've heard of this really late, as the ninjas were actually the people who actually brought back the message were trying to find Tsunade, but Tsunade was watching the fight, so she was outside of her office, and this was downfall, as Naruto realizes that he was the one who held up Tsunade and Team 10 is in trouble against the Akatsuki. Naruto will tell them that there is no time, and he will go after them instantly, as he leaves even before they could even say anything. As remember, Naruto, although he didn't train with Shisui, Itachi did tell him about Shisui and how strong he was, and just the amount of the sheer strength he had by using a simple body flicker. And Naruto would go on during the 6 months. He also learned how to use the body flicker perfectly. And anyways, just like Shisui. Anyway, once Naruto arrives, of course, he blocks a hit from Kakuzu, which was not Kakuzu, sorry, Hidan. Hidan, and of course Hidan was confused on how Naruto came out of nowhere, and Kakuzu realized that this guy is no joke. He came out of nowhere. They didn't even notice him, they didn't even feel his chakra or anything. He just came and just stopped Hidan from, well, killing Asuma or killing himself. And of course Naruto was about to, punch Hidan, but he realized what was happening, and so, as Hidan was trying to hurt himself, so he added 1+1, and he sees a circle on the ground where Asuma is, and he sees that all the wounds on Hidan are on Asuma as well, and he adds 1+1. And as he was about to, do something about this, Kakuzu arrives out of nowhere and actually fireballs him away from Hidan. Kakuzu tells Hidan that they need to retreat. They don't know what this guy's capable of. He came out of nowhere, but Hidan actually doesn't comply and was about to go on to kill Asuma once again. But this was enough time for Shikamaru to get behind them, and unnoticed, by the way, to actually stop both of them. And then Choji would come in to actually rub off the circle, or the little ritual circle around Hidan, and just by a little bit, as he was rolling on, he was using the human boulder jutsu, and he was able to actually hit Kakuzu away, and also destroy the little ritual circle that Hidan was in. And anyways, now, of course, this saved Asuma, and Naruto took him straight to Ino, as he was getting first aid healing, as Ino knows a little bit of healing, as she did train with the Tsunade as well, but she gave up. And Naruto realized that Ino wouldn't cut it, and he says, I'm sorry, but you need to move out of the way now, and pretty much heals Asuma fully himself within a minute or so, as the other two were holding off the Akatsuki members just barely, and holding on for dear life. And literally, Naruto, as soon as Naruto finishes, he says that they can rest easy, this fight is over. As he says this, and Naruto's quite angry at himself for even allowing this. Naruto wants to become Hokage, and here he is, literally seconds or milliseconds away from allowing his own ninja, or a ninja from his village, to die, as he's the one who held up Tsunade. And now this happened because Tsunade wasn't there to receive the message straight away, which would have made this much faster. Naruto would have still came here much earlier and prevented all this damage on Asuma. Although he healed him completely, in fact, still he was pissed off, and it's his fault basically, although it isn't really. But he goes on to destroy both Kakuzu and Hidan, and of course Hidan can't be killed, and Shikamaru, Team 10 actually decides to take on Hidan during the end, as Naruto was kinda having to deal with a much stronger opponent. And remember, Kakuzu is one of the strongest in the Akatsuki. Literally, he's one of the strongest members of the Akatsuki. Not the strongest, but one of the strongest in the higher end of the Akatsuki. And anyways, of course, they realize that Naruto should just take him on, not both of them, as if he gets caught off guard, it could mean the end for everyone here. And they didn't want that. Literally, they couldn't have that, because Naruto is literally their only chance of survival. If he can beat Kakuzu, then he can actually help them out. But they realize that they can beat Hidan, and Shikamaru has a plan. They lead him into a forest, and they do the same thing that Shikamaru done in the original, but this time as a team. And Naruto tells Hidan that it's over, Kakuzu, that it's over. It was a fun fight and he fought well, but it's time for them to end. And Hidan started laughing, saying that, "Do you really think this is my full power?" as he releases all of his 5 hearts. And Naruto starts laughing, and like a maniac, by the way. And he actually kind of shook Kakuzu just a little bit, but then he composes himself, saying that, "Are you laughing at your own death?" As he says that, Naruto actually blitzes Kakuzu right in front of him and says, "I'm laughing at you." And as he says that, he actually punches, not punches, he actually Rasengans Kakuzu out of the way, as the other hearts were actually trying to attack Naruto at the same time. But Naruto was able to end them real fast, as he pulls out a kunai and adds a chakra to it to create a little sword, which would annihilate everyone there. And he cut up the other 5 hearts, and instantly they died pretty much. And anyways, now Kakuzu was the last one surviving, and he was holding on to dear life right now, because that Rasengan, it wasn't a normal Rasengan, it was a very strong Rasengan, in fact, which could have killed Kakuzu, but Naruto actually held back quite a bit. And then Naruto said, "Tell me everything about the Akatsuki," as Kakuzu starts laughing, and he says that, "I'd rather die. The person that you would go up against, or the person that would come after me, is much scarier than you." As he says that, Naruto just looks at him with pity, saying, realizing that Kakuzu kinda has no choice, as there is someone much stronger than him, much stronger than Kakuzu, and scarier, as Kakuzu said that he's not scared of Naruto, but he's scared of that person. And anyways, Naruto doesn't really care, and tells him that he fought well, and he hopes he finds a better life somewhere else, as he decapitates Kakuzu. Naruto can't have Kakuzu survive here, as he's too much of danger, and he was already an S rank wanted shinobi in the bingo book, and so he really couldn't risk anything with Kakuzu. And anyways, now after killing him, Naruto would find Team 10 actually resting in front of this in front of the forest, as they all smile at him, and Naruto realizes that the fight is over, and they return to the village. By the time they return to the village, of course, everything is back to normal. Everything is good, and of course now, not everything is good in the village, but everything is good with Team 10, and the village is relieved, or the people who are aware of their dire situation are relieved. And after all of this, of course, a week and a half passes, and Naruto is actually with Itachi. It's just Naruto here, and in this week and a half, he did train with Jiraiya, and he has some sort of not mastery of a Sage Mode, but he's gone through all the steps pretty quickly, much faster than Jiraiya or, well, Minato ever did, much faster than anyone in this existence ever did, even the Sage of Six Paths. As I don't know how much he talked about C6 months, but anyway, we move. Anyways, Naruto, of course, took much less time than 2 weeks, as here he's already accustomed to Sage mode, as he fought it and he absorbed the Sage mode. And at one point, after absorbing it, Naruto felt the energy, but he let it go back to energy, back to nature, as this is nature energy, and it was too much for him to handle straight away. But after training with the Toads and Jiraiya helping him just here and there, it was more than enough for Naruto to get a grasp on it. And now Naruto would just have to have experience with it. After all, experience is what actually helps. Well, experience is what will make Naruto more accustomed to the new power that he has. And now, of course, the Itachi versus Sasuke fight was a bit similar to original, just that Itachi is much stronger here, and Sasuke stands a better chance than in the original, as he's much stronger. But still, it's kind of cancelled out by the fact that, of course, Itachi is much stronger than the original as well. And anyways, Sasuke is pissed off that he can't defeat Itachi, but Itachi goes towards him, as Sasuke tells him to, well, get out of his. Well, Sasuke tells him to, well, stand far away from him, but then Itachi hugs him. Then Naruto actually appears out of nowhere, and they tell him the whole truth. Sasuke says that this is because of the village, everything happened because of that, but then Itachi and Naruto actually literally slap him on both sides, literally. Sasuke has 2 handprints on his face. He's like, hey, why'd you slap me, bro? And anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Itachi start laughing at him and tell him that it's fine. And plus, they pretty much tell him that it was for the better good, well, for the greater good, and that mostly Itachi did that. Naruto really didn't have much to say here, as he really doesn't have, well, the right to, as he doesn't know what Sasuke went through. And anyways, now, after all of this, Naruto and Sasuke and Itachi return to the Leaf Village, and here, as they're about, well, since they're done with everything, Naruto actually recommends Sasuke and Itachi to get the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sorry guys, that was my bad. And of course, they go through the, the eye transplant, and Naruto was the one to actually be the one to do it for them. But the only thing is that during this time, Sasuke, while Naruto was actually going through this, Jiraiya met with while Sasuke and Naruto, Itachi and Sakura were spending time together, mostly Naruto and Itachi spending their own time together, while Sasuke and Sakura go up with each other, as Naruto would do later, since he had much more to talk about with Itachi. Itachi left the Akatsuki by now. It's pretty obvious that he did. And Jiraiya would have his little talk with Tsunade, as most of the Akatsuki is dead now. There are only 2 members remaining, well, if you exclude Zetsu and, well, Kisame. Kisame is a different case, as he died. I'll just say that he went after Killer Bee, and he got destroyed by both Killer Bee and the Raikage. And anyways, after all of this, of course, the Raikage and, well, sorry, the only 2 members are Nagato and Konan, or Pain, if you'd like to say that. But realistically, there aren't other members in the Akatsuki, as Zetsu and Obito don't really count. And anyways, now, after all of this, Naruto and Jiraiya went to find the Akatsuki leader, or that was the not Pain. And here, of course, Pain destroys. Well, he doesn't actually destroy Jiraiya, as Jiraiya has a lot more experience with Sage Mode than Naruto did when he versed Pain and everything. But still, Pain had a little bit of an advantage, as Conan here would actually help out quite a bit. And in the end, of course, Pain wouldn't be able to kill Jiraiya, as he had way too much power and he was just strong enough to escape. And here he doesn't go after Pain, as once again after he stood up he actually escaped, realizing that it's not worth it. Now, although he wants to continue his thing, or keep his ninja way, similar to his own student, still he goes on to actually escape, as he realizes Naruto is the savior of this world, and he will be the one to actually defeat Pain. And anyways, of course, Jiraiya returns to the village with much less injuries, although his arm is broken, ribs broken, near death, but still he gets cured by Tsunade and Naruto and Sakura here, because they want to make this as fast as possible, as this is dangerous. The longer they take, the closer Jiraiya gets to death. And anyways, now of course Naruto asked Jiraiya why did he go on his own. He could have asked him for help, but Jiraiya said that it wasn't worth it. He couldn't allow Naruto to be captured, but now everyone's here. Pain will come after them, will come to the village, and he will attack to find you. But of course, Naruto is the Leaf Village is more than ready here. They have Kakashi, they have Itachi, Sasuke. Well, Itachi and Sasuke aren't really in this fight, to be honest, as they just had surgery and an eye transplant, so they can't really fight. And Naruto tells them that they will not be in this fight. And once Pain actually attacks 2 weeks later, Naruto's more than ready enough, as he's been training with Sage Mode, and in the end he destroys Pain. But Pain, as soon as he arrives, he destroys the village, literally. He didn't have the patience to search for him, he just destroys the village, as it's the quickest way to find Naruto. And anyways, now of course Naruto is pissed off, and still a lot of people died. And here the events of the Pain arc go pretty much exactly the same, just that Naruto has it's literally a Naruto Naruto's having fun, pretty much. Not fun, but still he's pretty angry, and he's not using the Sharingan still. And here he's using a different type of Sage Mode. He's unlocked a different type of Sage Mode, Wood Sage Mode, but he has the same pigment as the Toad Sage Mode. And here it's literally Toad Sage Mode and Wood Sage Mode, the first ever Sage Mode to actually be combined with two different Sage Modes, and he's using both Sage Modes at the same time. And it's a pretty a godly Sage Mode, pretty much. Anyways, he's supremely overpowering or overwhelming Pain, and in the end Pain really stands no chance. He finds Nagato actually used the the Edo Tens, or his Rinna Rebirth, and revives everyone. And here Konan would be invited to the Leaf Village, as Jiraiya is still there, and she would actually accept here after actually taking the 2 bodies of Nagato and Pain to somewhere else with Naruto, of course being followed by Zetsu, and they don't notice that. Yes, Zetsu here was actually present where Nagato was, and after he saw him die, he actually followed them to see where the Rinnegan was hidden. And after this, of course, Obito goes there, and in the end, since there's no Sasuke at the summit, and there is no summit in the first place, as of course there is no B attack, still in the end Obito decides to go attack B and actually captures Killer B here. Killer B stands no chance against Obito with the Rinnegan, and yes, 1 Rinnegan, because remember Obito does mention in the original that 2 Rinnegan is way too much for him to handle, and so he couldn't do it. And anyways, now of course Obito is a threat big enough for the Shinobi alliance to be created, and Obito declares war for the Naruto's Jinchuriki. Of course, Naruto is still sent to the same exact place where he was sent with Killer B to master the Naruto's chakra to become a perfect Jinchuriki. But here Naruto knows what he's going to do. He did promise the Naruto's that he will become strong enough to fight him one day without the Sharingan, and so he has become just that. He has done just that, and in the end, pretty much Naruto goes up against the Naruto's just like in the original, but here he has a much easier time in destroying the Naruto's. And anyways, the Naruto respects him, and Naruto is actually quite comfortable keeping the Naruto out of his cage. Naruto then asks the Naruto for his name, and Kuroma's like, why should I even give you my name? You just want my powers, don't you? And Naruto says no, as clearly I'm not going to put you back in that cage. And Kuroma is quite surprised by this. Anyways, Naruto would still break out in the end, with Kuroma actually being his friend at this point, and Kuroma being quite happy not to be in the cage anymore. And he would still go into the war, create 13 clones, and go to each platoon. And here, the clones are much stronger because the Naruto's providing a lot more chakra to Naruto. It's full, chakra, yeah. And I wouldn't say he can go Baryon yet, because I don't know if... I allow the Baryon thing. It's kind of confusing. Nuclear fusion. And anyways, now... Of course, Naruto would go up against Obito and all the reanimated Jinchuriki, and here he would actually destroy them and still meet all of them and gain all their powers. And here he already has one of the requirements for the six-pack Sage Mode. Of course, Kabuto and Orochimaru would still both be there. Orochimaru would actually be the one to actually, yes, Sasuke actually left Orochimaru as he was much stronger than him. He didn't kill him straight away, as Orochimaru was able to escape. And here Orochimaru and Kabuto would both have a Snake Sage Mode. Oh well, Orochimaru arguably already has it, and of course they both use the reanimation jutsu, which is much stronger than the original, and this is what makes the fight much harder. Itachi and Sasuke go to fight both Kabuto and Orochimaru, and they do defeat them. And here, of course, Orochimaru turns good in the end, saying that, alright, I'll do whatever Sasuke wants, as I can't get his body, but I believe he's the stronger one, the strongest one. And anyways, now, and just like in the War Arc, he does everything for Sasuke pretty much. Anyways, Madara is still able to break out the Genjutsu, or the reanimation jutsu, and here the War Arc would go exactly the same as in the original, just that Naruto is much stronger and he can actually fight the Tentos with the 6-path Sage, his own Sage Mode, as it's actually godly pretty much at this point, as it's two Sage Modes put together. Of course, in the end, of course, Madara being the beast he is with the double Sharingan and Rinnegan, he actually gets the double Rinnegan much earlier, so Obito has one less eye here, and kills both Naruto and Sasuke, or becomes the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails after Obito and was defeated as the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. And Naruto and Sasuke still meet the the Sage of Six Paths, and here they pretty much decimate Madara. Even though Kaguya is revived, she's easily taken care of, as Team 7 was more than strong enough to take care of her. And Obito doesn't die here. Naruto is just that strong, and in fact he was close to killing Kaguya. He was about to, but of course Kaguya was about to kill him at the same time, so it was going to be a kill for a kill until Sasuke actually used his almighty push. Yes, he actually uses the almighty push here, and pushes both of them away, and of course tells Naruto to be less reckless, and Naruto laughs it off and then says, I should end this fight quickly. And everyone's in awe as Naruto literally goes off to destroy Kaguya single-handedly, and Kaguya really stands no chance here against Naruto, and Naruto pretty much kills her, literally. He gains the Karma Seal, and they are taken back by the Sage of Six Paths to their world. Anyways, here Sasuke doesn't have any grudges against Naruto, as Naruto pretty much saved his whole entire existence, and Danzo is actually put to jail. Sasuke doesn't want to have him executed or anything, but anyways, here Sasuke remains in the Leaf Village with Itachi, as he didn't really commit that many things for him to actually, he didn't commit any sins, or he doesn't believe, he didn't hurt anyone pretty much in this story. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto, Sasuke have a good relationship here, and they release the Infinite Tsukuyomi, and Itachi gets together with Conan, rest in peace Nagato. And anyways, now, of course, Tsunade and Jiraiya finally start dating, and anyways, all the ships that we wanted, except for the Conan and Itachi one, which was kind of random, happening just like in the original. Hinata and Naruto get together, and we get into Boruto. Anyway, peace.